Calling Nara Smith a trad wife is anti-feminist. The issue is that you see a woman in the kitchen cooking and you automatically think about men, right? It's as if a woman can't cook without the purpose being to gratify a man if she's in a relationship where some of this food is going to the man. And I think that's an issue. Why can't women just enjoy cooking? It becomes an issue when you see a woman doing something and you automatically say that it's for male validation. You're actually taking agency away from a woman. Anytime you see a woman in makeup, you say that she's doing it for male gratification, and a real feminist wouldn't wear makeup, or a real feminist wouldn't wear tight clothes, or a real feminist wouldn't cook for a man, or a real feminist wouldn't clean if she's in a relationship. Y'all are losing the plot, right? Because at the end of the day, if she wants to cook, let her cook, right? Not to mention she's not a trad wife objectively. Y'all have no foot to stand on. And when I say y'all, I mean the people who proclaim that she's a trad wife and act like she's moving feminism backwards and like she's a big issue, instead of focusing on the real people who are causing trouble, like Pearl Davis, Charlie Kirk, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, and these people who are actually advocating for trad wives. You're actually just taking Nara Smith, who's not a trad wife, and putting her up like she's the issue when she is in fact not. Why don't you focus on the people who actually, by their own admission, say that they prefer trad wives and they think that there should be more trad wives in society? But as I was saying, Nara Smith is objectively not a trad wife. She works outside the home, may I add, outside of the home, because traditionally trad wives worked only inside the home and their labor was not acknowledged. But she works outside of the home. She's a literal model, and she has been since she was young. So when y'all go around saying that she's a trad wife, you make the word lose its value. Not to mention that out of her own mouth, she has said that she does not identify with that label and that she does not believe herself to be a trad wife.
People love projecting things onto me and kind of how I live my life, just because I cook for my husband, because it's my love language and I love cooking. They project onto it that I'm in the kitchen and trapped and I'm just at home and he's the breadwinner and all of these things. And I'm like, no, I work. I'm very busy. I travel almost every week. I have kids that I raise. I love being in the kitchen because it's a passion of mine, not because I have to. And sometimes I feel like this is where social media gets tricky for me personally, is it doesn't matter how much I voice those things and try to make people understand that I am actually a full-time working mom, that they just don't want to get it. They use me as this poster child of this like very traditional wife, and I'm not. There's nothing truly traditional about us as a couple, apart from maybe that we chose to have kids young and get married young. But apart from that, we split chores 50-50. There's things that Lucky does that I guess traditional men wouldn't do, like do the dishes or get the kids dressed or do their hair or whatever it may be that people don't associate with a traditional man. And there's things that I do, like having a full-time career and having Lucky be home watching the children while I travel for 2 weeks, which is, I guess, not traditional in their mind. It's odd.
She said it out of her own mouth. I thought we were supposed to listen to women. But instead, you're deciding, no, screw what she says. I'm going to decide what she is, and she's a trad wife. Why are you doing that? Why? Because she likes to cook? Because she can spend 6 hours making bubble gum? She never said that you needed to do any of these things as a wife. Perhaps you could say that if she was spreading the message that this is what a good wife did, then perhaps she would be pushing some trad wife values that women should cook and spend a significant amount of time cooking, but she never once said you must do that. If I feel bad after watching a Nara Smith video because I know that I could never dedicate 6 hours to making a loaf of bread, that is my issue. You can complain that she has money, but you cannot complain that she's a trad wife. She's not pushing these values. She's not normalizing the idea that women should cook. I fear that you guys made that up because there is absolutely no evidence of her saying that anyone else should do this ever. She's literally using her agency to do what she wants. Oh, you might say, oh, she's a trad wife. She got married young. She's doing what she wants. Who cares if you get married young or old? Again, you're not letting a woman act and live in accordance with the way she wants. Because there are women who get married young who push the idea of trad wives doesn't mean that anyone who gets married young is doing so. It's a fallacious argument. I really hate this because I think that when y'all do this, you're not focusing on the actual problems, right? You're focusing on Nara Smith, who's literally doing nothing wrong. And also, it makes everyone look around and be like, these people are low-key kind of crazy because Nara Smith's not even a trad wife yet they're going off. Why don't you focus on other trad wives and self-proclaimed ones instead of trying to shove labels down people's throats? Maybe you could try and shove the label down her throat. If her actions were in accordance with the definition of what a trad wife is. But in what world did trad wives ever work outside the home? She has talked about how their relationship is not traditional, and so much as Lucky might do things that traditional men don't do. She said this out of her own mouth. I think this is very harmful to, the movement against, people being forced into being trad wives and the oppression of women in the home, because you guys don't recognize when a woman is just making her own choice. And you might say, oh, well, no one actually makes their own choice. They are influenced by outside sources. Well, we all are. At the end of the day, like I keep saying, she does not fit the definition of a trad wife. And I'm genuinely confused as to why you keep categorizing her as one. Right? Focus on the people who have said before that women would be more fulfilled working in the home and not having a career and just focusing on children. Focus on the people who have actually said this. Focus on the Whatever podcast. But leave Nara Smith alone. Because as I've said before, a woman can cook for a man, and it does not mean that she is a trad wife. It simply means that she enjoys cooking. She has said that it is her love language. Cooking and giving to man does not equal submitting to man and trad wife. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk.